Well, paranoia is all about grandiosity. It's paranoid ideations are what have people imbue themselves with significance and to deal with their failures as to continue to protect themselves. You see, the narcissist listens in a way that is always reframing reality. We talk about rumination. The disconnection of the narcissist is that they have a fear-based model for reality. Everything that comes through their mind, through their eyes and ears, has to be reconstituted as to avoid any emotion. You see, the reason being is that if you had an emotional core that was in a perpetual state of trauma, you have to dissociate. That normal emotional experiences or triggers are not something that they can deal with that causes injury. And so what they have to do is transform it. And so when you say things about them that's not consistent with their grandiosity or their victimhood, they have to transform it. That they can't deal with life, that they cannot deal with, the realities. You see, you live in a version of reality, they live in a version. They're not consistent or congrusive. They cannot coexist. The only thing that can happen is the people pleaser can be inducted into the reality of the narcissist, but not the other way. Because the reality of the people pleaser is imbuing the narcissist with traits and attributes that they cannot fulfill upon, and that the inconsistencies of this ideal version of the narcissist will be exposed in your reality. And so they have to protect their reality at all cost, which means that they have to filter everything that you say, everything. They have to negate your independence. They have to negate you and, become the sole author of reality, that you're only right through agreement, that you're only valid through guilt, that you're only able to accept blame and culpability and liability for anything and everything that doesn't work in your relationship to them. That doesn't matter what type of relationship you have with them, that you will always be accountable and responsible and guilty. And accountable and responsible for their happiness, or accountable and responsible for their lack of happiness. And so as a people pleaser, you become an instrument of the emotional regulation of other human beings, because you experience yourself through their emotional experiences, which result in your validation or devaluation, that you exist merely as a validated person that feels good enough, or a devalued person that feels not good enough. And in no instance within this realm of existence do you ever really operate as your authentic self. Nor are you able to be present in life. And that's it. And so being a people pleaser is to be a dissociated being that lives at the effect of narcissists and the world itself, where your identity is fully externalized, where your identity is based on evidence, where your confidence is based on evidence, accolades, results. And you're always in identity flux, that no matter what it is you've accomplished or done, it's never enough. You're always on the chopping blocks, in that in an instant, your whole reality can be transformed from one that embodies sufficiency and adequacy and a sense of self that's mostly positive, to one of, depression and hopeless despair, when you have to confront the inescapable nature of this pattern of existence. And so that is the way it is. And so the same way in which narcissists reframe reality is the same way in which people pleasers reframe reality. It's through confusion. It's through the denial of the observable truth of others and circumstance, and reframing it, and always interpreting that in terms of the significance to myself. And so a narcissist cheats on you, you go, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? And then you wonder why your life is destroyed as you commit to a perpetual effort of making someone happy and meeting their needs. And so a people pleaser is a needs specialist, a hypervigilant individual who's totally dependent upon the external validation of themselves. That I need you to tell me that I'm good enough. I need you to tell me that I'm not broken. I need you to tell me that I'm okay. And so as you go through life seeking the confirmation, validation of this identity, that is what you experience as love. Because when you live as somebody that experiences oneself as not good enough, you have displaced your experience of love. You have taken on the emotionality of your traumatized child self in a perpetual vicious cycle of attempting to heal, fix, and change yourself, or to work on yourself, or work on reality, to rearrange physical objects, to change numbers in an account, to improve your credit score, to get the GPA, to make your parents proud, to adhere to social and societal standards and norms about your aspirations, goals, and successes, as well as the value that you present to the lives of people. And so you experience your own value through the value that you embody in the occurrence of everyone other than yourself, failing to recognize the intrinsic and undeniable value of human beings. And we have a world built based on this mentality that is so fundamentally ingrained that it's a consensus. That we've built a zoo of life for the aspirations of human identity, a meaningless game of goals and aspirations and building and achieving while we search for meaning. In a world that, independent of us, would not have such meaning. That we are the generators of all meaning, and that the truth of the matter is that life is empty and meaningless, and it's empty and meaningless that it is empty and meaningless. And if your mind was able to grapple with that reality, you would experience a profound transformation into a space where you exist independent of your identity, where the constraints of fear on your mind are lifted, and you can start to see in the moment. And you can start to have the profound gift of empathy and love for other people. And you can see the pain and the struggle that you have been hiding from everyone else. And you can realize that everyone else has been hiding it from you too. And that is the miracle of the human experience. That we all have that. It's just been obscured through the lens of the mind of a child, a mind assembled by the greater consciousness of our own existence, creating rigid boundaries in an effort to protect our life, to make our ability to survive those challenging environments a possibility, by obscuring reality in such a way that we could see and love our parents, even if they didn't see or love us.